Hello everyone. I wasn't going to make a video today, but then the funniest thing that has ever happened in the world happened, so I had to sit down and record anyway. Now, many of us, me included, were assuming that Tekken 7 Season 4 would be announced during this past weekend, and that might seem like a pretty big assumption to make. It would be very big news in the world of Tekken. But there were actually many things leading up to this that made it a pretty reasonable assumption to make. There was that listing for new DLC on the Steam store. There's still that weird mystery character on the official website, and then someone who works very closely with Namco makes a tweet saying that there's going to be a big announcement on a stream during the weekend. Now, I don't know about you guys, but to me that sounds like Season 4 or a new character or a major balance patch or something else really significant, and you don't want to make a tweet like that telling everybody you have something big and then have your announcement be nothing, because that is going to face a fair bit of backlash. Well, it turns out that the announcement is absolutely nothing and people aren't exactly happy about it. I've spent the morning going around the internet laughing at all the memes and jokes people are making about this. I've laughed so hard that I have physically painful stomach cramps right now. It might be the most fun I've had since that $4 thing last year. You guys are great. Please keep it up because it's very entertaining. Now, the actual announcement is Pokechop is going to play Anakin in an online 1st to 5. Which you can get very excited about if you want to. I want to make something clear. Everybody who's setting this up, and especially the players, they're extremely talented, cool people who I look up to. I try to be very careful about not saying mean things about specific people in my content. That's very important to me. But this situation is just a little bit too funny to not make jokes about. I think the point is this. I checked before I started recording this video, and as I'm talking right now, Pokechop is streaming on Twitch. So if you like to watch him play online matches, then you can do that right now. It takes you 2 seconds. You just click a link and it happens. And right next to him on the exact same platform, you can watch all the amazing players in the world who stream on Twitch. You don't need it announced to you 2 weeks before the fact. And you don't need that announcement 2 weeks before the fact to tease and trick you 3 days before that, so that you walk around during the weekend with false hopes, and then you go to a stream you get advertised to. I mean, the whole mix-up is so fucked up because it's like the shameless clickbait setup into the unblockable self-promotion, and now the entire global Tekken community is walking around with bitter disappointment bukkake running down their faces. Some of us are more disappointed than others because some of us live, for example, in Southeast Asia, where we have different time zones, right? So I saw many Korean and Japanese players who stayed up during the night because they wanted to see this announcement. They were very excited, and then it turned out to be something that is completely uninteresting to them. As far as they're concerned, might as well not be happening. And I want to shout out those people. I hope your Monday wasn't too fucked up and you weren't too tired because you got tricked by this. Now, how cynically you view this is going to come down to who you are. Let me know how you feel in the comments. I don't know what my take on it is going to be, but I think that right now the world of Tekken is kind of strange because the Tekken World Tour isn't happening. It's not generating hype, revenue. It's not selling a whole lot of noodles, if you know what I'm saying. So if you were a cynical person, you might say something like, oh, they can't make us watch the Tekken World Tour, so they're going to try and trick us into watching the last Tekken World Tour again and maybe shift some noodles that way. One of the more interesting opinions I saw float through when this happened was people were talking about the balancing of the game currently, because it's in a pretty weird state. We have a character in the game right now who can death touch you from full screen and who has a broken hurt box where you can't hit him with moves. It's a pretty big problem for online balancing, and for all of us out here in the world who don't have access to offline Tekken right now, it's the only game mode we have, and so some proper balancing right there would actually be a big enough change that I think many of us would be very happy. But there hasn't been any news about what's going on with that. I mean, just a small indication of we're working on maybe fixing that, something is coming in the future, I think would be enough to satisfy most people. But instead we got something like this. I think it's important to remember that those things leading up to this that made us believe that Season 4 might be on the horizon, they're still there. The Steam stuff, the mystery character, everything else. So there is major content in the future. We just don't know when and how it will be announced. Typically, stuff like this would happen during major offline events because, you know, everybody's watching live and it generates more hype. But that can't happen right now. I mean, maybe they're just going to wait until some major online event happens and then reveal it then. then. I guess that's the only option they have outside of just releasing a trailer to YouTube, which I think would be fine. We would be as excited about that, and we would generate hype around that as well. At least I think so, but who knows? So those are my 2 cents on that whole thing. Let me know how you feel. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you guys again very soon.